The smile.
And still undefeated, Gervonta Tank Davis.
What'd you think, man?
No. No? I think it was a great fight. I think it was a great fight. It was amazing.
Tank is the best fighter in the world. Tank's the best fighter in the world. And his team's been saying it.
What Star said, let his hands go, impose his will, but he got to put his chin down. He got to be defensive minded. And Tank, great game plan, hit the roof.
Yeah, actually, no, that was a beautiful knockout. I ain't gonna lie, that was a beautiful knockout. That was beautiful.
How do you set it up in your eyes? How do you see him?
But
What do you think about Gervonta?
I think Gervonta did good. I think he waited a little bit. I think I feel like he gets them tired first until he explodes on them.
You got to be there with him. If you're not making it strong, that's what's gonna happen. He's gonna break you down.
Anything else that Ryan could have done differently throughout the fight?
I just feel like he just fought the wrong fight. He was following him around round one.
The fight went exactly as I would say 100% of us expected it to go. I don't think there was very many people that
First, you know what I'm saying, he held his defense up pretty high, so he was able to maintain for a long time. But I think that whenever Tank was ready to close the gaps, he closed.
He tried to fight, but he was unsuccessful. But it is what it is. You show how to do it, you got knocked out. You got
This performance, what do you think about Gervonta?
I think Gervonta did good. I think he waited a little bit. I think I feel like he gets them tired first until he explodes on them all crazy.
What next match would you like to see for him? Maybe a Shakur fight, possibly a Devin?
Tank's always shown that he's very well equipped with skills and he's strong. So I'm assuming that punch really was the factor.
It's close, but that's what he was all about. You feel me? Rolly got a little comfortable.
it was an ugly fight. It could have been either way, but Tank got him out of
Monster, the modern day Mike Tyson.
What do you think is next for Tank Davis after this? What would you like to see?
I mean, listen, put him in big fights. He's ready for everybody. That's too much.
What did you think about Tank's power tonight? Did you think he was winning the fight up until the stoppage?
I mean, it was close, but like I say, man, he got a lot of experience, so he's really just setting it up.
You got to go back up there.
Setting it up, taking his time. He's taking his time, just setting it up.
He made a mistake and got a little froggy. He showed the world that he can outbox the champion, and he outboxed him. But thank you, appreciate that. But Tank is a champion for a reason. I told him he has timing and he has experience. Timing and experience is two dangerous.
The highly anticipated fight just took place, and as expected, Tank Davis came out on top with another win. He defeated Lamont Roach in the same way he's beaten so many others. Before the fight, Roach was confident, claiming he had what it took to knock out Tank. But once they stepped into the ring, reality hit, and it wasn't as hard as Tank's punches. Roach entered the fight thinking he had the perfect strategy to expose Tank's weaknesses, but like the 30 opponents before him, he quickly learned there are different levels to this game.
I'm gonna do me regardless. I told him leave his mom's and the people home, and he still brought them. It's crazy, man. It's gonna get bad. It's gonna get bad, man.
Once Tank figured Roach out, it was game over. A few powerful punches later, Roach had no answers left. The fight ended just as most expected, with Tank victorious, still undefeated, and walking away unscathed. But surprisingly, the chatter after the fight wasn't about Tank's performance. No one seemed overly impressed. especially the big names sitting ringside. Among the crowd were Terrence "Bud" Crawford, Devin Haney, Shakur Stevenson, and the man who's been calling the shots in boxing's biggest fights lately, Turkish promoter Al Sheikh.
We're gonna make sure tell Terrence Crawford keep his name out your mouth. You know what I mean? He talking crazy. He talking crazy. You think about that one?
Nah, it was just some, talking on some Twitter, like back and forth.
From their reactions, it was clear they weren't impressed by what they had just seen. Crawford, never one to hold back, summed it up in just a few words. Just another win to look good. For months, Crawford has been vocal about his concerns with Tank's choice of opponents. He believes Tank is playing it safe, picking fights that protect his perfect record without truly challenging himself. In Crawford's view, Tank has been avoiding the toughest tests and instead focusing on maintaining his image rather than building his legacy.
Question for you, Tank. At 147, how does a fight with you and Terrence Crawford look?
147?
147.
I tapped that chain. You know he going to sleep.
I already know. I already know he is.
He's just arrogant, Crawford said when asked about Tank's latest win. He wants attention, but he should be giving fans good fights, not just trying to look good to impress the crowd. Crawford hasn't held back in sharing his thoughts. He firmly believes there's only one fighter who can truly beat Tank, and that's Shakur Stevenson. He's called Shakur Tank's kryptonite, the one fighter with the skill, defense, and ring IQ to take away Tank's power and outbox him. Tonight, it seemed like Turkish promoter Al Sheikh might agree. Right in the middle of the post-fight conversation, he made an announcement that shook the boxing world. Tank has officially agreed to 2 fights this year. And these aren't just any fights. These are the ones the fans actually want to see. While Turkey didn't name names, it didn't take long for people to start connecting the dots. For months, he's been in talks with Tank, urging him to take on the toughest challenges in the division. The fight everyone's been talking about? Tank versus Devin Haney. Turkey has been working non-stop to make the biggest fights happen, and this announcement made it clear. Tank's next 2 fights won't be easy matchups. They'll be the real deal. Devin Haney and Shakur Stevenson are the obvious contenders.
Devin, thoughts on the fight?
Devin Haney, the current undisputed champion, has been calling for this fight for a long time. He believes he's the best at 135 pounds and has said repeatedly that he has the skills to beat Tank. In Haney's eyes, all the hype around Tank is just that, hype. He's confident he can outbox him, break him down over 12 rounds, and prove once and for all that skill beats power. Shakur Stevenson, on the other hand, has been just as outspoken. He's long argued that Tank's team has carefully selected his opponents to avoid real challenges. Now that Turkey has confirmed 2 major fights are lined up, Shakur knows his time is coming. What's different now is there are no more excuses, no more tunyups, no more avoiding the biggest threats in the division. Just when it seemed like the night couldn't get any more exciting, Oscar de la Hoya dropped another bombshell. Tank versus Ryan Garcia 2 is happening. While there's no official date yet, it's confirmed. Ryan Garcia has been calling for a rematch ever since their first fight ended. He believes he wasn't at his best, blaming the weight cut for draining him and saying he made mistakes he won't make again. Since then, Ryan's name has been in the headlines for all the wrong reasons. Social media meltdowns, legal issues, and constant criticism from the boxing community. But Ryan sees this rematch as his chance at redemption.
You know, in all of boxing in regards to where you're at in your weight class and how you consistently are just knocking guys out, what's that feeling like when you do?
It feels like
Oscar de la Hoya wasted no time building the hype, saying Ryan is coming back into the ring with a ton of energy, and this time he'll be a real challenge for Tank and even Devin Haney. De la Hoya has been outspoken about Ryan's talent, claiming his power and speed make him a serious threat to anyone in the division. With all the drama surrounding Ryan lately, this rematch could be the perfect opportunity for him to prove he's still a top contender. But the bigger story here isn't just about the individual fights. It's about what this means for Tank's future. Just a few months ago, there were rumors that Tank wasn't interested in working with Turkey. He wanted to maintain control over his own career, stay independent, and avoid being locked into any long-term deals.
He said I drank. No, I did not. He was eating the day before. Like, we had a media workout. He was eating at his media workout, bro. I wasn't even eating at my media workout. You know what I'm saying? Like, it just, he tricked the people. Like, yeah, I'm draining. No, you wasn't. I just made him have to work.
But now, Tank is fully on board, and that changes everything. Turkey isn't just another promoter or businessman in boxing. He's the one making all the biggest fights happen. He's the one putting up the money, setting up the deals, and ensuring the best fighters face each other. With Tank now working directly with Turkey, it means the biggest fights of the division are officially unavoidable. Haney, Shakur, Ryan, these aren't just potential matchups anymore. They're happening.
You didn't know how good I was and how I would handle the situation. So they just threw me out there. He was hurt. Not even hurt.
Crawford knew this was coming. That's why he was there, watching everything unfold. He's been pushing for these fights for months, demanding that Tank step up and prove himself against the best. Now, with Turkey pulling the strings, there's no room left for excuses. Tank made a statement tonight, showing once again that he's still the king of the division. He still has the power, and he's still the one everyone is chasing. But now the real test begins. No matter how many knockouts or wins he adds to his record, the only thing that truly matters now is whether he can beat the best. With Haney, Shakur, and Ryan all lined up, we're about to find out if Tank is really as untouchable as he claims to be.
It was a professional versus an amateur.
The thing about Tank's fights is you always know what's coming. You just don't know when. A knockout is inevitable. It's only a matter of time. And deep down, Tank knew it too. Same old, he told the crowd. I've got to give them what they want to see. He doesn't need to say much. His fists always speak louder than words. For Roach, the real question was whether he could survive long enough to make it interesting. Could he avoid that one punch that would turn the lights off? Could he shock the world and do the impossible? It was a long shot from the start, but he believed in himself, and the people around him did too.
A boxer. For everybody to be talking shit to Gervonta, it don't be coming out good for them, my nigga. I'm just keeping it real.
He obviously a superstar. But just because it's who he is, this don't change no program that I got going on. I'm here to win. I've been coming to win. And I think the same result will happen on December the 14th.
At the weigh-in, Roach came in right at 135 pounds, while Tank looked a little drained, weighing in at 133.8. That got people talking. Maybe Roach had an edge. Maybe the weight cut had taken more out of Tank than usual. Roach was feeling confident. I told him this expletive is real, he said after facing off with Tank. I'm one of the best fighters in the world, and I can't wait for you all to see it. Promoter Tom Brown was pushing the same storyline. Champion versus champion, Baltimore versus DC. Who was the bigger man today? He was selling the fight, making it seem closer than it really was. Roach's team was feeling confident too. His co-promoter, Gary Jonas, kept stressing that Roach wasn't scared. He'd known Tank since they were kids and had fought him twice in the amateurs. The advantage Lamont has is they go way back, Jonas said. Psychologically, that's an advantage over the other guys who get intimidated by Tank. But here's the thing. Knowing Tank doesn't mean you can stop him. Despite all the talk and confidence, Roach was the underdog for a reason. He was stepping up in weight, facing a guy who had knocked out 28 of his 30 opponents. This wasn't just about skills. It was about power, and Tank had it in spades. Roach was good, solid, and technically sound, but he had to fight a perfect fight. He needed to be flawless for all 12 rounds.
Would you consider you and Gervonta friends?
Friends? Probably.
Is it going to be hard to go in the ring and fight your friend?
Not at all.
Are you all going to be friends after?
Yeah, why not?
Either way it goes.
Both making money. Yeah.
But you guys are making each other bleed.
Hopefully I just make him bleed.
Then there was the bet. After the weigh-in, Tank and Roach made some sort of wager. Lip readers guessed it was $20,000, while others thought it could have been as high as $250,000. Maybe Roach really believed he had a chance, or maybe he just wanted to prove a point. Either way, it didn't age well. Roach kept that same confident attitude in every interview leading up to the fight. During a Zoom call with DAZN, he was calm and collected. "I have no doubt in myself, my skills, my strength, my will," he said. "We're going to put all together." He promised a career-defining performance and insisted the fight wouldn't look how most people expected. "Honestly, it's going to be a real spectacle," he added.
Yeah, man, I mean, it's going to go. Tank going to be losing the first 3 rounds. Then he's going to download the data. Then he going to knock this dude out in round 7 or 8. Then he going to do the backflip. Then Jim Gray's going to get in the ring, or Caleb Plant's.
As for the critics who doubted him, Roach didn't care. "They'll just have to wait and see," he said. "For real, I couldn't care less about their doubts." He spoke like a man on a mission, like a fighter who truly believed he was about to shock the world. But belief alone doesn't win fights, and when that bell rang, reality hit. The fight unfolded exactly as most expected. Roach gave it his all. He had his moments, but they weren't enough. Tank did what he always does. He took his time, found his range, and when the moment was right, he closed the show. After the fight, Roach wasn't the same.
It's gonna be a party
And
on
I'm
your
gonna
floor.
let y'all know something. His father was up here
It's
shaking
gonna- it's
on the
gonna
what's
be-
the name? He was shaking on the
Thank everybody that played a part in it. My team, Gervonta Diaz, Gary Jonas.
on my kids. He was shaking on his hand. On my kids, he was
never.
shaking. How you gonna say it's cap? And it gotta be. You gonna say it's cap? I'm watching them.
The fire Roach had before the fight had dimmed. He was already talking about stepping away, maybe for good. That confidence he carried into the ring was gone. This was always going to be the biggest fight of his career, his one shot at greatness. And just like so many before him, he fell short. But now, what everyone can't stop talking about is the road ahead for Tank. And it starts with Shakur.
U.S.